Monty, congrats on the win. How close was that to a playoff atmosphere tonight?
It was everything that the playoffs are, emotion, physical, players making plays, late game situations. It was all of that. And the resiliency and relentless attitude that we showed down the stretch on the road in overtime says a lot about the character of the guys in our locker room. Not just winning the game, but just kind of staying with it when the whistle didn't go our way. At one point early in the game, it was like 13-2, I think, free throws. Then we just couldn't get to the line, and that was a bit of a frustration point for us, but we stayed with it. Giannis, just attacking the basket over and over again and scoring on good defense, but we stayed with it. And even when Chris hit that shot, we didn't buckle at all. And so a great growth moment for us. And obviously it's just cool to get a win and really cool to see Chris, pass Magic Johnson and all-time assists. I think he's 5th now, which is absurd. So just a really cool night.
Next, we're going to go to Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic and then Royce Young.
Coach, I was going to ask about Chris, but you've addressed it. I wanted to ask about the last play. Chris looked like he was trying to screen to get a switch.
Yeah, we're trying to get the matchup that we wanted. But Drew, I coached him in New Orleans. He's one of the best on-ball defenders I've ever seen. He knew what we were trying to do. He wasn't going to give into it. But we were trying to get the matchup that we wanted, and it just didn't work out. But thankfully, the result was, better than expected.
Quick follow, DeAndre defense on Giannis in the fourth quarter. Just speak to that.
Well, his defense the whole game. I mean, I don't know what else he can do. Giannis made some tough shots. There were a few where he had to go under DA's arm. Made some fadeaway jump shots in the paint. That's about all you can do. A guy that big and that athletic coming at you full speed. I thought DA did a really good job. And I thought the biggest thing was he didn't get frustrated. He didn't, cry to the refs or any of that stuff. He just stayed with it. And once we, got our rotation set up where we could match him against Giannis, I thought it helped our team settle down a little bit. And then Jay did a good job on him too when there was opportunities to red or switch on to him. I thought one of the big plays of the night was when Book got the steal or the deflection for a steal when he had to switch on to Giannis. They tried to make a pocket pass, and that was the kind of effort and execution we needed to get a game like this.
Next, we'll go to Royce Young with ESPN and then Cameron Cox.
Yeah, Monty, with what you guys did in the bubble, it's well documented. But, I'm sure there was a lot of belief that you were going to sustain that momentum into this season and have a good year. But then you add Chris. So what has Chris done to maybe kind of boost past what that momentum was maybe even believed to be, to where you guys are having this like sensational season?
I mean, you don't have enough time to talk about everything he's done, but he's such a he's improved the winning mentality. All of our guys want to win, but when you see a guy that has done it from afar, and then you look at how he does it, from his diet to the exercise routine he has every day, and then in game, where he's able to be in those situations and really lift the level of our team, it's pretty cool to watch. And then, watching him just kind of get these accolades along the way, I think it speaks to the longevity, the discipline, the sacrifice that he's, implemented along the way in his career. So I could sit here all day and give you story after story. He certainly helps me as a coach. Our conversations in game allow us to make some plays that we probably couldn't make, if I didn't have that synergy with him. So he certainly is a benefit to me.
Next is Cameron Cox with 12 News, and then Steve McGargy.
Monty, obviously the season's winding down. I believe tonight y'all clinch at least, at worst, a play-in spot. But what does tonight show you about your team moving forward that maybe you didn't know?
Oh, I knew this about our team, but how do I say it? It's just good to see it played out in front of everybody else. I've seen, I think we talked about it in pregame, how tight they are, how much they want to win and play for each other. And we saw that tonight. Like the schemes at times didn't always work, the plays didn't always work, but our guys just made plays for each other. And, we have a ways to go. We all understand that. And we're just focused on our next practice, which is tomorrow. That's all we're focused on. We have a do the next right thing mentality with this team. Reps were moved out. We're a work team, and we're going to stick to that. That's the only way I know how to operate. And I hope our guys expect that from me and implement it themselves.
Next up is Steve McGargy with the Associated Press, and then Kellen Olson.
I was just wondering, what was your vantage point there on that last play that resulted in the foul? I guess it happened right in front of the Suns bench. Just what did you see there?
Yeah, I mean, you hate that to happen to a guy. Certainly benefited us, but I heard the slap, so I was just concerned as to when it happened. I wanted to make sure it happened before the buzzer went off, but we were just trying to get the matchup that we wanted, and we couldn't. And so Book just took off to try to get a shot off, and I think it was Tucker. PJ just kind of overhelped, and rightly so. He just didn't want Book to beat him. And, I heard contact because it was right there in front. I just didn't know when it happened.
We have time for three more. Next is Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports, and then Gina Mizell.
Hey, Monty, I wanted to ask you about two moments in the game. The first one, DeAndre appears to hurt his left shoulder. You've only got one timeout left. You rule to keep going. Book hits the shot, and then you're able to have the timeout at the end. Just what was your thought process there?
That was the only way that it would have worked out. I really didn't want to challenge. And it's going to be something we talk about because when you do that, when you only have two timeouts, you really put yourself in a bind. But those are those moments where I have to trust our guys. And so having one timeout, you have to score, you know what I mean? And you have to get stops. And so it just worked out for us. But my thinking was to, keep two timeouts for sure going into, the last minute of the game.
Final two questions are Gina Mizell with Suns.com and Cody Cunningham.
Hey, Monty, I feel like kind of lost in the craziness of overtime in the end of the game is that you guys had to claw back from 7 down in the fourth quarter to even get to that point. So you talked about resiliency, but kind of how were you able to do that? Because once you went on such a burst to get that, to tie the game, but to kind of just hang around and then be able to sort of push forward to then make it just a one possession game kind of the rest of the way.
It's just who we are. You know what I mean? We our guys never want to give in. Even, the other day when it wasn't working out well for us against San Antonio, I took the guys out, but they still wanted to play. That's the mentality you have to have. You have to believe you always have a chance. And when you have Chris and Devin handling the ball, I think it gives you a chance in any situation. And Mikhail, knocking down an unreal shot in the corner. He's worked so hard on that. But to be able to knock down shots in those moments, Jay did the same thing in the corner. I thought he got fouled on that. And then D.A. diving in the middle. Even when D.A. tweaked his shoulder, he was able to come up with the ball. That says a lot about who we are. He was in some pain, but he had the wherewithal to go get the ball. That's who we are, and that's who we have to be if we're going to have the kind of success we know we can have.
Final question is Cody Cunningham with Suns.com.
Hey, Monty. I wanted to ask you about a very specific moment in overtime. Mikal went up and got the layup, but he fell to the ground, and it was instantly Langston ran over, rushed, helped him out so that Mikal could catch up to the fast break. Just what do little moments like that say about this team, willing to impact the game and help each other out even when they're not actually on the floor?
Yeah, we have a saying, everything counts, and that was a moment where Langston had a chance to, he didn't play tonight, but he certainly had an impact on the game. And that's who we are. We always have each other's backs. I talked about it in the pregame. These guys spend so much time with each other. They really care about each other. And I don't know what else you can say for Langston to, have that sense to go get him up and kick his butt down the floor so he can get back on defense was pretty cool.
Appreciate your time, Coach. Thank you.